What would make a prince, a man raised in palaces, trained to hide emotion, shaped by royal protocol, fight back tears in front of strangers? And what could possibly make him say, none of you should be here? In fact, guys, tonight, this is an interesting gist. Yes, we are diving into this emotional moment that has kept everyone talking. Prince Harry standing before grieving parents who has, lost their children, speaking about social media, loss and accountability, and nearly breaking down. Was this just another public appearance, or was this a personal stuff? Now, I know you would want to hear more on this gist. Now, stay with me because this story is deeper than what we think. On February 11th in Los Angeles, Prince Harry appeared at a private but very powerful gathering, and the room was filled with parents who has just lost their family members. And many believe social media platform played a role in those strategies or tragedies. And some of these families are now involved in lawsuits against major tech companies, including Instagram and other social handles, arguing that their platforms are designed in ways that can harm, their users. And Harry stood before them not as a royal, not as a celebrity, but as a father. And that's when it happened. His voice trembled. Then he paused and said, "None of you should be here." The room felt silent, because what do you say to parents who have just buried their family members? What words are enough to even say? And to understand why this moment was so emotional, we have to look at Prince Harry's history. Harry lost his own mom, Princess Diana, at just 12 years at a very tender age. He has spoken openly about trauma, about grief, and about mental health. Now he's a father of two. And imagine standing in front of parents who just lost their loved ones around the same age as his. And imagine hearing their stories, the late night messages, the bullying, the online pressures, the algorithms feeding harmful content. This wasn't political for Harry, it was a personal stuff. And when he thanked the parents for repeatedly telling their stories, you could see in his face that he understands pain, not in the theory, but this time around in reality. And behind this emotional moment is something even bigger, like a major legal battle is unfolding in California, and families are arguing that social media companies like designed addictive systems failed to protect vulnerable users, ignored warning signs about mental health harm, and the lawsuit claim platforms amplified harmful content through recommendation and through algorithm. Now, these companies deny wrongdoing. They argue they provide tools for safety and parental control, but the courtroom will decide what responsibility tech giants truly hold. And Harry didn't just attack companies directly in his speech. Instead, he focused on accountability and compassion. But the timing of his appearance as this lawsuit begins sent a message. The issue of online safety is no longer just academic, it's emotional, it is legal, and it is global. And now, Meghan was also present at the event, though she wasn't the focus of the moment, but her presence matters. Through their Archwell Foundation, Prince Harry and Meghan have consistently focused on, something like mental health, online safety, youth empowerment, responsible digital spaces. And this isn't just their first time addressing tech harm. They have previously met with parents, tech leaders, and advocacy groups pushing for safety digital environments. And for them, this isn't just a headline appearance, it's part of a larger strategy. And since stepping back from royal duties, they are shifted into advocacy work, and online harm prevention has become one of their core missions. And now, What does this mean for the monarchy? Now let's address the elephant in the room. You see, Prince Harry is no longer a working royal. Him and Meghan stepped back far back in 2020, and relations between Harry and the royal family have been tensed recently, and especially after interviews, documents and his memo. So when he appears publicly like this, people ask, is he representing himself, or is he still seen as representing the monarchy? But technically, this was not a royal event, but the title Prince Harry still carries weight, and emotional moments like this shape public perceptions. And some critics say he's becoming a political figure. Supporters also say he's becoming a humanitarian leader. Either way, guys, he's redefining what a modern royal identity looks like outside palace walls. And why did this moment resonate so deeply online? This is because it felt real, and we live in an era of carefully curated appearances and perfect speeches, perfect angles, perfect statements. Yes, but here emotion breaks through perfection. And when Prince Harry's voice cracked, it wasn't rehearsed. When he paused, it wasn't scripted drama at all. It was human. And in a digital world being criticized for the humanitization, that irony is very powerful. And a prince warning about digital harm while showing raw vulnerability in a viral moment is something people don't just ignore. And we also have public reactions. Online have been divided. Supporters say he's using his platform for good and he understands trauma. This is what leadership looks like. And definitely we'll have critics, and critics, they have argued that he's inserting himself into legal matters, he's positioning himself strategically, and he's politicizing tragedy. But one thing is clear, people are talking, eyes are seeing, mouths are wagging, and when a single sentence, "none of you should be here," sparks global conversation, it means something struck a knife. Now let's strip away the titles, strip away the palace history, strip away the lawsuits and headlines. At its core, this was a father speaking to parents, a son who lost his mom, a father afraid of losing his children, a man confronting modern dangers that didn't exist when he was a child. And the royal stories continue, the legal battles continue, the family tensions also continues. But at this moment, it was about grief, accountability, and the cost of the digital ages. And maybe, just maybe, that's why it hits so bad, or maybe it's so hard. Because whether you are royal or not, no parents should ever have to be in that role. So guys, if you are interested in hearing more on Prince Harry and the royal family, kindly subscribe to this channel. Stay tuned till I come your way again on our next review.